Las Vegas is probably the most famous sin city in the world, but it's certainly not the only one. Rio de Janeiro, Tel Aviv, Shanghai, Amsterdam all come to mind. Hey, where will sin take you? Welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Hey, thanks for joining me. I do this for you. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, then help them get to know him and his word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and also share this with a friend. I remember my first trip to Las Vegas. After successfully avoiding any travel there, well, except for a brief airport connection, I made the deliberate choice to fly to America's notorious Sin City. And thankfully, I went with my wife. See, my ninja son had qualified to compete in the Ultimate Ninja World Series Championship Finals. And so off we went. Las Vegas, it's commonly called Sin City, but even other U.S. cities get the moniker. From large, well-known cities like Miami to others you've never heard of. Lynn, Massachusetts even has its own rhyme. Lynn, Lynn, the city of sin. You never come out the way you went in. Well, aside from 24/7 drinking and gambling, there are other vices available 24/7 in Las Vegas too. Ladies of the evening are never in short supply. Or ladies of the late afternoon or early morning or, well, really whenever, for that matter. Of course, where you get booze, broads, and cards, you're going to have tons of money changing hands. So organized crime is a major factor in Sin City too. And with them comes the human trafficking of sex workers, violent enforcement, gangs, and so on. My mother once attended a national dental convention in Las Vegas with a friend of hers. One of the patients at her friend's dental office was a major Boston mob boss for the largest crime syndicate in the USA. I'll call him John Smith. And when he found out that they were going to Vegas, he said he'd take care of things for them. Boy, did he. Everywhere they went in Vegas, whether to dinner or a show, when their bill came to the table, it had been signed, "Compliments of Mr. John Smith." They called to make reservations to see Sammy Davis Jr.'s show. Didn't know it was sold out. They found out it was sold out afterwards. But they called down to make the reservations, and they were simply asked what time they'd like to go. On their arrival, they were brought past the lines of people waiting to enter. They brought around a velvet rope line and seated inside a special VIP area directly adjacent to the stage. Well, obviously, Sammy Davis didn't know my mom, probably didn't know anybody sitting at those tables, but he certainly knew why they were there. And his performance had a very high degree of interaction with his favorite friends. Sin is seditious and sneaky. It's been disguising itself with claims of desire and wisdom and beauty since the Garden of Eden. The oldest profession in the world promises experience of sensual pleasures beyond your imagination. But the babes are the bait, and you are the only target. Sin initially promises to hide you in its darkness, protecting your anonymity. But grand promises notwithstanding, what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas. Regardless of what sin promises to deliver, there are 3 things it will always do. Sin always takes you farther than you ever intended to go. Sin always costs you more than you ever thought it could. And sin always destroys more than you ever thought possible. Those are the things sin delivers. Compromise beyond comprehension. Cost beyond calculation. Destruction and devastation beyond your imagination. And sadly, I didn't learn these lessons by reading about them in a book somewhere. I learned them the hard and painful way. And so have you. Sin has burned us all. Sin has ruined things that we held dear in every one of our lives. We've all taken the bait, all been hooked, all fallen, and we all need a Savior. Thankfully, he's standing by with his arms wide open. He's waiting for you and I to call upon his name. Today's verse says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Sure, I went to Vegas, but I wasn't afraid because I didn't go alone. Wasn't my wife with me? Of course. But she wasn't the one protecting my eyes and my thoughts and my heart. My Savior promised me and said, I will never leave you. And he always delivers on his promises. Lynn's rhyme actually got it right. Once you've entered sin, you never get out the way you came in. You came in by believing lies and deceptions that were only intended to destroy you. And you entered alone. But you get out of sin by deciding to believe promises that will deliver you and restore you. The only way out of Sin City is with Jesus. You never get out the way you came in because you never leave alone. Then he never leaves you. And that's a promise you can believe in. We're out of time again. But can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew so they can get to know him and his word personally and better? Please like this video. It'll really help more people see it. Then click follow or subscribe. That way you and I can get together every day. Would you like a copy of this book, Count to One, God's Plan for Christian Unity? If you click the link in the description, I'll drop one in your inbox, no cost. Hey, and one more thing. Please remember to share this video with a friend. Do it today. Because as you do, you're part of the team, touching hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping.